Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another Access 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview, and I'm here with Tommy Frank. Tommy, how are we?
I'm alright, thank you, Axel. How are you?
I'm great, thank you, mate. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this.
It's alright, yeah, no problem at all.
Nice one. And so am I right in saying you're a 29-year-old flyweight who's 15-2-1?
Yeah, that's correct.
Great, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with the question which I always like to start off with. Why did you start boxing?
I first started boxing. My cousin used to box for Sheffield Boxing Centre, the gym I'm at now. So I always knew that he used to box. When I went round to my auntie and uncle's, they had a punch bag round there, and my uncle and my cousin they used to watch boxing videos like Mike Tyson videos and stuff. So I can just always remember, watching them, and I think that was kind of when I got interested in it, and then I went to the gym, Sheffield Boxing Centre. I didn't really take to it at first, I think I liked the idea of it more than actually doing it. But I still something in me just kept me going back. So I just kept training, although I probably weren't really too confident in myself at first. But I just stuck at it, just kept trained for a couple of years up until I was about 15, and that's when I started, really taking it seriously. I had my first amateur fight when I was 15, and it's been pretty much all I've done since then. That's the quick answer.
Definitely, that's great. And so to kind of speak about that first amateur fight, what ended up happening with that?
Yeah, I won my first amateur fight. Going back to 2009, I can remember the day, it was 14th of May 2009, and I boxed in Derby against, I can remember his name, he was called Jack Holmesworth.
Right.
So I don't ever know, what he went on to do. I hope he's well if he ever watches this. But yeah, so that's going back some years now. So yeah, 2009, I had my first fight. And just went on from there really. I did really have. I had 45 amateur fights. Right. I had a very even record. I think I only actually won one more than I lost as an amateur, so I had a very half and half record. And I never won any national titles or anything. I think I maybe got to quarterfinals. I won a lot of Yorkshire titles and a couple of belts as well. But I just I always knew that I wanted to turn pro, and I watched a lot of professional boxing. The gym I'm at, Sheffield Boxing Centre, has always been an amateur and a professional gym. So I've been training with professionals since I was like 13, 14. So I guess that kind of rubbed off on my style. So I always had a style that probably suited the pros better. So I always knew that I were, gonna do better as a pro. So I always had that in my head. And then so I boxed amateur until I was 23, I think, when I turned pro. So yeah.
Definitely, that's great. And so far in the professional game, you're doing very well. I mean, we'll get on to the fact that you're a British champion in a moment. But throughout these 15 wins that you've had, which one would you say you've performed your best in?
To be honest, I think there's a few fights where everything's come together. When I won the Commonwealth title, I'd probably say that was my best performance with the fight in the style that I did it in. With the fourth round stoppage, and I just felt everything really clicked on that night, and not that anything went different to how it normally does. I couldn't put my finger on it to tell you what happened, but it just seemed to click, and it were really impactful performance. When I won the British title, that were another good performance. And I just think you have certain fights where you're just getting that flow state, and everything's flowing. Stuff what you've worked on in the gym, it's coming off in the fight. But every fight's different. You have there's I've been in some hard fights. Not many hard fights. Probably one fight, one or two fights where I've had to grit my teeth a bit and get through it. So yeah, I mean, I've had kind of a lot of experience in my fights. Not in the sense where I've been hurt and I've been knocked down and I've had to come back, but just in certain fights where things weren't quite going my way and I had a couple of rounds, what I was dropping, and I had to figure out a way to get over that and come back and win, and that's what I have done. So I'm very grateful I've had them experiences. I started boxing, championship fights from my 7th fight, really, which is when I won my first title. And to be honest, I'm not sure how many 12 rounds fights I've been a part in, but I think it's quite a few now.
Yeah.
So having 18 fights, a fair few of them now have been championship 12 round fights. So yeah, learning. I've learned on the job as a pro, and I feel like I'm putting all the experience together, along with my training in the gym, and developing on just me and my style. And I feel like I'm coming into my prime now, and I feel like the next few years, especially, I just feel. I think you can reach your peak performances in physical.
Yeah.
And there's like a mental side as well. And I think when them two kind of join together, I think that's when you're in your all round peak, and I just feel like I'm coming into that now. So, yeah.
Definitely. And so to kind of carry on speaking about the tough fights you've had, so am I right in saying you've gotten the 2 defeats, and so but you've managed to bounce back from that very well, and so how tough was it to bounce back from that?
It were very tough, to be honest with you, because them 2 defeats were hard. They were very hard, just in the sense that this is going to really sound. It's going to sound a bit stupid, really, but although I've lost 2 fights to the same man, I don't feel like it was because I was beaten by the better man. The first fight with Guarneros, it's quite well known that I got an injury during that fight, and my left shoulder went, so I was basically boxing with one arm from the 3rd round. I did the best I could. I still thought I picked up rounds using one arm, but it probably, it was getting a bit on top, and I got punged out just after the 8th round, I think it was. So that was that fight, and then the rematch, that went the full 12 rounds, and it was a fight that in my heart I thought I'd done enough to win, and I still thought I just nicked that. But then when you look back, I can understand why they gave it Guarneros. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I still thought that I did enough to win, but I can see why they gave it him, because he was the champion. And looking back, sometimes fights can be you're in the ring and you're fighting, and you think the fight's going a certain way, when in reality, you don't know what the judges are seeing, you don't know what the people, looking in on the outside are seeing, and it can be a complete different fight to what you think it is. And looking back on that, I think I just tried nicking it, I tried pinching it, rather than putting my foot down and cementing and kind of finishing off that performance to win the fight. I just tried nicking it, and I think that kind of bit me on arse, and so that's it. It was more just a frustrating loss. The first one with the injury, that was devastating, and the second was devastating and just frustrating, because it was kind of my own fault, looking back. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because it's made me a better fighter, and after that defeat, I was down. I'd lost 2 fights in a row, and I was just before that, I was due to box for the British title, and then that kept falling through. So we went for the fight with Guarneros for the IBF Intercontinental title that was for. So I knew that I had the British title to fall back on, but we looked into in a row. I didn't know if I'd get my shot, but it turned out that I did, thankfully. And then literally like 12 weeks after that second loss to Guarneros, I won the British title. So I was back up again, and I ticked a box what I'd always dreamed of ticking, winning that Lonsdale belt. So yeah, it just shows you, it's like snakes and ladders boxing. You're down 1 minute and you think, well, is that it? And then you get an opportunity and you're back up on cloud nine again. That's just how it works. So it's kind of like the best game. It's kind of like the worst game, but then the best game in the world.
Yeah, that's fair. And so, well, I mean, you said you've been around for the sport for a while and you've had these kind of tough experiences, but what would you say is your kind of main motivation at the moment?
My main motivation is just me being the best version of myself that I can be. Because I think I've shown throughout my career, like I said, I've shown glimpses of that in certain fights. But I think as well as maybe having a bit, I don't like to call it bad luck, so I believe everything happens for a reason and I wouldn't change it for the world. But I've had it's not all been plain sailing through my career. I've had a few opportunities what I've found through, and who knows what could have happened if I'd have gone through with that. But again, I wouldn't change it for the world because it shaped me as a fighter. So what I'd say is I just want to focus on being the best version of myself. I think there's been times where people have probably written me off, and there's a lot of people still maybe writing me off, and thinking that I won't get to the level that I believe that I'm capable of. But I just want to prove that I can get there. So just being the best version of myself the next time I'm in that ring, which is against Jay Harris, defending my British title. It's a massive fight, a massive opportunity to, not only show how good I am, but, winning this fight and beating Jay will open so many doors and it'll push me up to where I want to be and involved in big fights on big platforms. And that's where I want to be. But number one is just focusing on just being the best Tommy Frank that I can be.
Definitely, that's a great mindset. And so we'll speak a bit more about that upcoming fight in a moment. But I mean, the kind of big factor that you've said a bit, you're the British champion, and you have been the Commonwealth. I don't know if you still are technically the Commonwealth or not.
No, I won the Commonwealth at super flyweight, right. And then I moved down to flyweight, and that's where I've got my British title at.
And so, kind of, how big of an achievement is being a British champion?
Yeah, it is a big achievement. You as a fighter, as an active fighter, you probably don't take much notice of that sort of stuff now. Because you're in the thick of it and you're doing it. But it's probably something that. Well, I know that I'll look back on, probably after my career in years to come, and be really proud of that achievement. So just winning a British title is a massive achievement, and you've made history, you've put your name in the history books forever. There's a lot of prestige and history goes along with the Lonsdale belt. So to have won one, yeah, it's I'm in a select group of people, and if I can win it outright and keep that Lonsdale belt, that's something that my kids and my grandkids maybe one day will have hold of that. So if I can win that belt outright, I 100% want to do that. That'll be one of my goals. So we'll see what the future holds with that. But yeah, like I said, it's been a dream of mine since I started boxing. I can always remember watching the fights on Sky and stuff, and seeing my favourite fighters box for that belt. So to win it would definitely like a lifelong achievement. Yeah.
Definitely, it's good to hear. And so for this upcoming fight that you've got, am I right? It's on or working with Let's Go Management, and so what's it like working with them?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, it's a bit of a relief just getting a date for this fight and getting it over the line, because it's been a long time in the making. Various promoters have been, said that they were going to have the fight, and it's kind of fell through. So we've just been trying to find a home for the fight. We thought it was going to be on one of the big platforms, and that fell through. So Lee Eaton of Let's Go Management, who actually manages Jay Harris, he said, that he'll take the fight, he'll promote the fight. So thank you for him, for putting it on. So it's going to be at York Hall, London, which is an iconic venue. Yeah. So it's probably very, very fitting for a fight like ours. A British title, big domestic fight. So it's probably the perfect place for it. And I believe that there's a TV broadcast of what they're going to announce soon.
Oh, right.
So I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah.
But the fight should get some coverage. So yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, all round.
That's great. That's good to hear. And so, we've been speaking about this kind of fight, and we might as well carry on speaking about it. But how's kind of preparations for you going for this upcoming fight? 10th of March, isn't it?
Yeah, 10th of March it is. Yeah, 10th of March. So, like I said, it's been such a long time in the making, this fight. I've been training, since probably before last summer, because we thought the fight were originally going to be like in the summertime. I last boxed in April, so we thought we might get this fight in the summer, and then it got put back to maybe like October, September time, and then it was going to be December, just before Christmas. So it's just kept been getting around. So like I said, I've been non-stop training. I've had to have a few breaks here and there to reset.
Of course.
I were able to do that over Christmas. And I'm always training. That's the thing. I have a few days rest, but it's like here and there. But I'm always training. If I'm not training, I get fidgety. I like to train. It's just kind of my lifestyle. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, but just any fighter will tell you, if you've got a fight date and you've got something to work towards, that's what you want as a fighter. When you're just training kind of endlessly, we know any point inside, it is difficult to stay motivated. Because you can train day to day just to make yourself feel good, but you feel like you want that end goal.
Yeah.
So finally, we've got that date to work towards. So basically, all systems go from now. We've got just over 8 weeks. So we've got a good camp.
Time,
So yeah, I'm just excited. I'm really looking forward to it.
Great. Okay, and so kind of you spoke about Jay Harris as your opponent, but how much do you actually know about him?
Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of Jay. Because we've always been similar weight, flyweight, super flyweight. I've always kind of followed his career, and he's a great fighter. I'm blessed to be fighting someone like Jay. Sharing a ring with him. He's proved that he can mix it at the very top level. He's boxed for a world title against Martinez. He didn't win, but he went the distance, and he gave a good account of himself. He's a former Commonwealth and European champion. So he's boxed at a higher level than me, I would say. He's with the opponents that he's beaten for them titles, he has boxed at a higher level. But I think it's going to be like I said, me beating Jay. It's really gonna it's going to put a good name on my record, and it's going to be like a springboard onto other things. Like with Jay, you know, Jay wants to beat me to basically get back in the mix. You know, he's had a couple of defeats himself, and he's going to want to get back in the mix with big fights. So it's just one of them. Probably a little crossroads fight. You know, which is going to make it. I mean, it's a good fight anyway, but that'll probably give it a little edge as well. But I mean, as I've said, you know, as I've always said on interviews and stuff, I've got a lot of respect for Jay, and I think he's saved for me as well. So yeah, let's just you know, I'm sure we're both going to be training hard and let the best man win March 10th.
Indeed. And so for anybody who's not watched you fight before and maybe wanting to come to this upcoming fight, what would you say kind of makes you interesting as a fighter?
Me myself, what's interesting about myself as a fighter, I'd probably say I'm not really like a one-trick pony, I'd say. You know, I think I'd like to think I do kind of I cover all bases. You know, I've proved that I can box. You know, in the past I've had to just box for 10 or 12 rounds to win fights, and then on the other hand, I've shown that I can mix it and go forward. And you know, I've had a lot of, you know, knockdowns in my career. You know, knocking my opponents down. Although I've only got 3 stoppages, I do believe that I probably hit a bit harder than my record suggests. So yeah, I'd just say probably, you know, like an all round box fighter type style I am. You know, and I think. I like mixing it up. You know, like I said, I can box to orders, but you know, when the punches start flying and you know you can hear the crowd, I do like a bit of a tear up as well. But I'd like to think that, you know, I don't take too many either. You know, I think I could be really elusive at times, and I just think the way that my style's developing. I'm going forward, you know, and letting my hands go, but I'm being elusive at the same time. So a bit of like aggressive, defensive fighter, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Great. Okay. And so I only got 2 more questions. I won't keep you for too much longer. But so you kind of touched on this already. But how far do you believe you can go?
Do you know what? It's just. You know, every fighter will say, you know, the dream's to be a world champion, and yeah, of course it is. But all I'm thinking lately is I just want to fulfil my potential. That's all I'm really bothered about, to be honest with you. It's not really putting a label on the goal, like I want to be a world champion or I want to do this. I just want to be as good as I know I can be, and. To be honest with you, as long as if I get to the end of my career and I believe that I've fulfilled my potential and that I've done everything that I can possibly do, I'll be happy with that. You know, so like I said earlier on, I just want to focus on being the best version of myself, and I believe that, you know, if I believe in myself, that can get me a long way. You know, and that, you know, I can beat good fighters. And I can, you know, I can beat good fighters at the top level. So that's, you know, that's in the future. But you know, one step at a time. So my next goal is defending my British title and beating Jay Harris March 10th.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Okay. Well, I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Just a massive thank you to my sponsors. You know, my sponsors, they keep me going. They enable me to train full time. I'm always, you know, posting about my sponsors on my social media, so they're all over there. But just a massive thank you to them and all my team what support me. You know, I'm very lucky because I've got a great team as in Sheffield Boxing Centre. My management, Dennis Hobson and Steve Crump. And then my team of sponsors, just stick by me through thick and thin, keep me going. and then on top of that, I've got just a brilliant family base. What all support me. My fiance, she's brilliant. So yeah, I can't, I can't really ask for more than what I've got, to support me in what I've chose to do as my career. So just a massive thank you to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Great, good to hear. Okay, well, thank you very much for doing this interview, mate.
Yeah, no worries, Axel. Thank you for having me.
And maybe a little bit further along down the line, we can come back and do another one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's check in after March, and I'll still have that Lonsdale belt, so I'll have to bring that onto camera for you.
Yeah, that'll be great, mate. All right, nice one. Okay, well, if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do any like video, and